Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm so happy to be here with you today and this fine group of young men and women who are ready to take lead in society and bring America to its greatest heights ever known. Welcome to the Southern University Law Center Commencement Exercise for 2018. My name is John K. Pierre. I am the grandson of Sidney Pierre, a man who could not read or write. My mother and father could not read or write. Yet I am so proud to be here because what we will see today is an embodiment of the fact that faith carries us through so many storms. And these young people, if you may not remember, on the very first day of class, it was raining and storming on that very first day of class. They have done so much. We ask you to remain standing because we will have the National Anthem sung by Ms. Jacqueline Page Green. And I ask that you remain standing for the invocation to be delivered by Reverend Jonathan C. Augustine.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets wrecked there, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave on the land of the free and the home of
My brothers and my sisters here assembled, this is the day that the Lord has made. We shall rejoice, and we shall be glad in it. Let us all take a moment now to go to our God in prayer. Heads are now bowed, eyes are now closed. Most precious, most perfect, most wonderful, and most ever-loving God, we come before you now, dear God, with praise in our hearts and thanksgiving on our lips. We say thank you, dear God, for the family and friends that have been a support mechanism for us, dear God, that have made today a reality. We say thank you, dear God, for these wonderful graduates, those who have persevered, those who have endured, those who have demonstrated by faith that it's no secret, dear God, what you can do. We say thank you also, dear God, for this wonderful institution, Southern University Law Center, that has made opportunities a reality for so many people. And dear God, on this day and on every other day, we ask your blessings on Chancellor Pierre. We ask your blessings on the faculty here assembled that have influenced and molded so many minds. We also, dear God, ask your blessings on our speaker. Please touch her, dear God, from the crown of her head to the soles of her feet. We thank you, dear God, for all you have done. We thank you for all you are doing. And these and all of the blessings we ask in your precious and holy name. And let all God's people say, amen.
Thank you, Mrs. Green and Reverend Augustine. You may be seated. It is my great pleasure to welcome all of you, distinguished guests, faculty, colleagues, family, friends, and members of the graduating class of 2018 commencement exercises of Southern University Law Center. We gather today to celebrate a moment of consequence in the lives of 123 JD candidates. When these individuals leave here, they will be, quite frankly, the best legal minds in the world. Yes, I'm a little biased, but I truly believe that they will go on to become great lawyer leaders. All of this, the music, the marching, the flowers, the robes, and the ceremonies that surround this day are meant to mark this decisive moment of high achievement and transition in the lives of these 123 graduates. And as with all moments of transition, it is an opportunity to reflect on the past as well as look to the bright futures that are before you. If we reflect on our past, we see long, winding pathways that led you, graduates, to this moment. Members of this graduating class have had to accomplish seemingly unsurmountable tasks to be afforded the opportunity to sit here today. And it is important to note that this crossing of the finish line is not the success of our graduates alone. Behind each and every graduate is a tale of parents, brothers, sisters, family and friends, of spouses, partners, and of children who have supported, sacrificed, strengthened, and inspired them. The real education of our graduates occurred long before they arrived at the Southern University Law Center. So as we reflect on the journey that has brought our graduates to this precious moment, let us remember first and foremost those who truly made this moment possible. Will the families and friends of the class of 2018 please rise so that we can honor you? You know who supported you. Give them a round of applause. And of course, none of this would have been possible if it were not for our praying mothers. And so I want to say to our mothers who have prayed for all of these graduates, Happy Mother's Day. This is your Mother's Day gift. Graduates, this is truly your day. You will become the 83rd class to participate in commencement exercise, and you will become the lawyer leaders who will take roles in the public service, elected leadership, and private practice. You join thousands of alumni who now live and work all over the country and, in fact, the world. You should be proud today. Some among you are what we call legacy graduates, those who have a familiar connection to this institution, maybe a parent or an uncle or a sibling graduated before you. Others of you are the first in your family to obtain this level of graduate degree. Now, all of you are part of the legacy that is the Southern University Law Center, and I could not be proud. We will now have the interlude by Clarence Jones, and he will be joined by one of our talented young students, Bria Johnson, Ms. Johnson, who will sing Lift Every Voice and Sing. Thank you, Bria. That was a beautiful rendition of Lift Every Voice and Sing. James Weldon Johnson would have been proud to hear you sing that song today. At this time, I want to take a brief moment to recognize some very important people who have joined us today, who make what we do at Southern University Law Center possible. We have with us on the stage the Honorable Ann Smith, Chair of the Southern University Board of Supervisors, the President of the Southern University, Dr. Ray Belton, and Chancellor of the Southern University Baton Rouge campus, the Vice Chair of the Southern University Board of Supervisors, Reverend Donald Henry, a board member, Mr. Raymond Fondell, and we have our registrar, Mrs. DeAndrea Lee, who we could not even have this ceremony if it weren't for her. To my right is our commencement speaker, who will be introduced in a moment, Judith Perry Martinez. We have seen and heard from the Reverend Jonathan Augustine from the historic St. James AME Church in New Orleans. Vice Chancellor for Academic and Student Affairs, Roderick White. Our Vice Chancellor for Institutional Accountability, Professor Elfrida Diamond. We have with us a gentleman who we'll recognize later with an honorary JD degree, Reverend Joseph Hayden. We have our Director of CLE Programs and Alumni Affairs, Professor Reed, Cynthia Reed. And the man who will lead you as you go through your summer bar preparation, Associate Vice Chancellor Sean Vance. And we also have the honor of having the chair of the Louisiana Council of Student body president, Mr. Arthur Williams, who is your outgoing Student Bar Association president. Also in the audience is my wife, who I would not be able to be here today if she didn't wake me up this morning and say, "What time is it? Get going, young fella." And we have Mrs. Lori White, Vice Chancellor White, wife. We have Mrs. Hayden. And we have next to Mrs. Hayden the two men who, for 40 years, were the leaders of this institution that have brought this institution to a point where everyone recognizes its greatness. And that would be in the presence of Chancellor Emeritus B.K. Agnihotri and Chancellor Emeritus Freddie Pitcher. Next to them, we have our 50-year commencement honoree, Robert Judge Ames, one of the great civil rights and social justice advocates, and his wife next to him. We have several members of the legislature. I see them somewhere. Please rise. I see several members of the judiciary. Please rise. And so I wanted to acknowledge those people because we did not get here by ourselves. We have seen that without the help of others, we could never achieve anything. And so today, we want to recognize our golden alumnus, Mr. Robert Judge Ames, who became a part of our rich legacy 50 years ago. Mr. Ames graduated and embarked on a career as an advocate for civil rights. He is a Baton Rouge native. He is a proud graduate of historic McKinley Senior High School and Southern University. He received his commission as a captain in the Judge Advocate General Corps of the U.S. Army. While in private practice, he worked on many civil rights and criminal cases. He represented clients like Hubert Brown, otherwise known as H. Rap Brown, and the late Emmett Douglas, who is a longtime president of the Louisiana State Conference of the NAACP. He served as a law clerk for the late Judge Elmo E. Lear, the Louisiana First Circuit Court of Appeal. In his illustrious career, he has served as a staff attorney for the Constitutional Convention of 1973, the Baton Rouge Office of the Public Defender, the Louisiana State Attorney General's Office, and the Louisiana Department of Labor. We are pleased, Mr. Ames, that you could join us today to be recognized as this year's Golden Law alum. Let us please give Mr. Robert Judge Ames a round of applause to honor his distinguished career that began as a graduate of this law school. Now, it is with pleasure that I introduce the speaker for this special occasion. The bio of the commencement speaker, Judith Perry Martinez, is in your program. She is of counsel at Simon, Peregrine, Smith, and Redfern, and is president-elect nominee of the American Bar Association. You can see from her bio that she has had a distinguished career and still having a distinguished career. She is a champion for social justice, diversity, all the things that we should value and treasure here at the Southern University Law Center. In February 2018, she was nominated to be president-elect of the American Bar Association for service as ABA president in the 2019-20 year. She joined Northrop Grumman in 2003, where she would go on to serve as an assistant general counsel for litigation, managing litigation for the western half of the United States before becoming vice president and chief compliance officer in 2011. She was also named to the company's Diversity and Inclusion Leadership Council. She retired from Northrop Grumman in 2015 to become a fellow at the Advanced Leadership Institute at Harvard, where she spent a year in residence. Following her time at Harvard, she returned to New Orleans to pursue a public service career and now rejoined the firm where she will continue to do that work. In 2011, she was appointed chair of the ABA Standing Committee of the Federal Judiciary, which evaluates all prospective nominees of the federal bench. Earlier, she served as the ABA lead representative to the United Nations and a member of the ABA Board of Governors and its executive committee. Ms. Martinez served as the chair of the ABA Presidential Commission on the Future of Legal Services, and most recently, she became a member of the ABA Task Force on Building Public Trust in the American justice system. Ms. Martinez currently is a special advisor to the American Bar Association Center for Innovation. She serves as a member of the Board of Directors of the American Bar Foundation and is a fellow of the American Bar Foundation and Louisiana Bar Foundation, and a member of the American Law Institute. Ms. Martinez has received several very important awards, such as the Sam Dalton Capital Defense Advocacy Award from the Louisiana Association of Criminal Justice Counsel, the Michelle Pittard Wynn Professionalism Award from the Association of Women Attorneys, and the Alliance for Justice Award from the National Gay and Lesbian Law Association. She was named the Outstanding Lawyer in the state of Louisiana in 1990 and the Louisiana Bar Foundation's 2001 Distinguished Attorney. On two separate occasions, she has received the Louisiana State Bar Association's President Award and is the recipient of the 2012 Camille Gravel Public Service Award in recognition by the Federal Bar Association's New Orleans chapter to an attorney who has done substantial pro bono or public legal work. In 2017, she was honored with the David A. Hamilton Lifetime Achievement Award by the Louisiana State Bar Association and the President's Award by the New Orleans Bar Association. Ms. Martinez earned her bachelor's degree from the University of New Orleans before going on to receive a Juris Doctorate degree with honors from Tulane Law School. She is married to Renee Martinez, and they have 4 children. Now, what you see is the official bio, and I didn't read all of it, but you can see the sense of the eminence of our speaker. But what caused me to be drawn to her is the fact that she has compassion. When the flood of 2016 occurred here in Baton Rouge, she came to Baton Rouge to lead. And many of you were here for that. You were victims of that flood. She was a leader. She helped the Southern University Law Center, along with the Southeastern Louisiana Legal Services Corporation, create a project called Flood Proof, which brought much relief to many people who were flooded in Baton Rouge in 2016. And perhaps in what I consider her most important contribution, she has worked diligently with our own Professor Angela Bell, who has been leading vigorously a campaign to remove the non-unanimous jury system in the state of Louisiana. And she has made this a cause within the American Bar Association. And our legislators in the state of Louisiana have done great things to see that this non-unanimous jury system will be eliminated in the state of Louisiana. So without further ado, I want to bring to the podium a great leader, a compassionate leader, a leader with vision. Please rise and give a warm welcome to Judy Perry Martinez.
Chair Smith, President Belton, members of the Board of Supervisors, distinguished guests, Chancellor Pierre, Chancellors Emeritus, members of the faculty, parents, grandparents, spouses and significant others, children and friends, and most importantly, members of the class of 2018. I'm honored to be with you on this very special day, and thank you, Chancellor Pierre, for your kind words and generous introduction. Chancellor, I know that you know that your school holds a special place in my heart. Please allow me to briefly share with the others gathered here why. Approximately 29 years ago, I was asked to co-chair the Louisiana State Bar Association Minority Involvement Committee when it was first created, and I readily accepted the assignment from then LSBA Young Lawyer Chair, David Bienvenu, and immediately got to work with my co-chair, Avis Russell. Ms. Russell, you may know, went on to serve as an Orleans Parish Civil District Court judge. I then had the honor of having her serve with me at Simone Perigine as my law partner, and ultimately she became city attorney and executive counsel to New Orleans Mayor Mark Morial. Our first order of business under this new committee was to establish the first ever minority job fair at which law students of color and others would interview with major firms across the state, companies, and agencies in Louisiana. That job fair was not held at LSU, it was not held at my alma mater, Tulane, it was not held at Loyola, all fine schools. You should know that it was held at Southern University Law Center, which stepped up to host the important event. It was one of the first, if not the first of its kind in the country, and I am told that the Minority Job Fair continued for 25 years. Now think a moment about the positive impact that it had on so many young lawyer lives. But that's not the point. More importantly, think about the positive impact that those young lawyers for many, many years have had on firms across this country, on corporations and agencies in this state and beyond. It all got started right here at what is soon to be your alma mater. It is good to be back in a place where such innovative ideas are born and nurtured even to this day. What a sea of beautiful smiles and happy faces are out here today. What a moment to pause and reflect about the hard work that you have endured and the sacrifices that you have made, as well as the love and support that so many have given you so that you could be here today. A sense of accomplishment and pride fills the air. It is palpable, and rightfully so. There are almost 327 million people in our nation. You have taken a major, hard-fought step to becoming a member of a profession to which less than 1.3 million people can claim to be a part. Think about that. You are on a trajectory to become a member of the legal profession a most noble profession and one that for centuries has been looked to for leadership, wise counsel, and grit to do what's right both in times of turmoil and tragedy, as well as in challenge and opportunity. Having a career in the law hopefully will bring you success. Many of you will go on to make a good living and to make a great living as a lawyer. It is admirable to be handsomely recognized with big fees because you are the best in your specialty, to stand proudly when a jury comes back with a defense verdict or an equally impressive monetary award in favor of your paying client. It does mean you've made it when your merger goes through or your administrative hearing results in a decision that makes new law. Many of you will start your own practices and help everyday people who need your guidance and legal assistance. There is no more important role that a lawyer can play than to help families stay together, right wrongs, or shepherd a family through the loss of a loved one. Others among you will ascend to the bench, government service, or sign up for careers in legal aid, dedicating your lives to the law in a most public and selfless way. Is it all about the money, the verdicts, the deals? Should success be only about the cases won? How will you define success in your life as a lawyer? Will you consider yourself to have made it when you finally get the corner office or your name is on one of the two on the firm's letterhead? Of course, it's easier for a lawyer who has had the benefit of a steady paycheck and made a good living that allowed him or her to pay off student debt, buy a house, drive a nice car, send kids to college, and take vacations to think about that question. But how will you define success for you? Or will you let others define it for you? I recommend that you ask yourself how you will define success now before you start on your journey. I urge you to ask the question again and again of yourselves. Don't fail to ask yourself and then one day wake up having practiced for decades, not having thought more about what you wanted to accomplish. Take the time to at least have an honest conversation with yourself about what will make you happy as a lawyer. Try to identify what will give you meaning and purpose in life. While you certainly will and can have meaning and purpose through family and friends, faith, and lifelong learning, take the time to figure out how you want to be remembered as a lawyer. When people in your hometown say your name, will they recall you as the lawyer who stood up for those who had nowhere else to turn? Will the words ethics and professionalism immediately come to mind when a judge hears your name? Will your bar colleagues know that your word is your bond? Having a career in the law will no doubt change you. For some, it will define you. For others, it will not. But one thing is clear. If you make the call and think of the law as a calling, a vocation, it will make you a better lawyer, it will make you a better citizen, and it will make you a better person. That is because we the lawyers have an obligation to give back. We the lawyers have an obligation to uphold the rule of law. We the lawyers have a duty to speak truth to power. We the lawyers cannot rest until access to justice is not just for some, but for all. And those obligations not only hold true in our everyday lawyering, but I tell you, they will permeate your daily lives. I suggest that you always ask yourself if this is the way that through helping others you can gain the greatest gift that the legal profession has to offer. That gift is a sense of fulfillment in knowing that you did your small part in trying to make this a better world for those who are less fortunate than you. Gaining that sense of fulfillment comes from speaking up and not staying silent when you see injustice, simply because the injustice does not impact you or yours. Satisfaction comes from engaging and contributing your legal skills to push for changes in the law that others say are just the way things are. Achieving your purpose as a lawyer can be as simple as writing a letter to the editor, as urgent as helping a victim of domestic violence get a restraining order, or as significant as representing someone charged with a crime who cannot afford a lawyer, whether they are guilty or innocent. It can come from walking into a classroom of fifth graders around Law Day to give them a sense of why the doctrine of separation of powers is so essential to our democracy. It can come from being awakened to the fact that people with limited English proficiency are arrested in our country without truly understanding their Miranda rights, and then taking action to assure them an understanding of the constitutional rights that all of us are told and understand when we are detained. It can mean explaining to your family at Thanksgiving or to a stranger on a plane why the rule of law is the cornerstone of our democracy and why we should do everything to remain true to it. Fulfillment can be realized when you help guide those who protest how to protest peacefully to avoid arrest, or help opposing groups who see the world differently work toward a solution that is fair and just and equitable, or even simply help them have a civil discourse. Fulfillment can be yours when you represent a juvenile sentenced to life who has a constitutional right for a court to determine if he should spend the rest of his life in jail, even if the odds are stacked against him. You can gain a greater sense of purpose helping a veteran appeal a denial of benefits, guiding a homeless mom through an expungement process that will mean she can get housing for herself and her children, or making sure that a disabled elderly person does not have his electricity cut off because he failed to fill out one last form. No one likely will tell you that you have to represent the poor or near poor. No one likely will urge you to stay the course with a pro bono client because he or she has nowhere else to turn. No one likely will criticize you if you don't speak up for diversity and inclusion, or you fail to speak truth to power. No one will remember that you did nothing to counter attacks on judicial independence, or that you told able people ways to get out of jury duty, or you never encouraged people to vote each time they had the opportunity to be a part of our democracy. But you will remember, you will know, the students of the class of 2018, because you understand that being a lawyer is a privilege, and one should never, ever waste a privilege. There are endless examples of Southern University Law Center graduates who understand the privilege of being a member of the legal profession. One whom I have had the pleasure of knowing for many years is Marcus Brown, Executive Vice President and General Counsel of Entergy. A 1988 SULC graduate, Marcus made his way through the ranks of Entergy's legal department, and once general counsel, he could have focused only on the bottom line. Yet he chose fulfillment. He chose to be, as Chancellor Pierre said, a lawyer leader. He decided to create a pro bono program for his legal department. He engaged not only the attorney members of his legal team, but his paralegals and his staff. He grew enthusiasm for and commitment to the program through his tone at the top. His in-house professional law department staff contributed 1,700 hours of pro bono work last year alone, and department-wide, the program provided 4,500 hours of additional community service. Since the launch of the program in 2012, the attorneys have performed over 10,000 hours of pro bono work. The program is the first such program among Louisiana headquartered corporations, and it's in the process of hiring a full-time pro bono counsel. And it is believed that Entergy will be the first legal department in our country to have a full-time pro bono counsel on staff in a law department. Marcus Brown has embraced his calling and is helping all in his law department to experience true dedication in the law. Another example of an alum who is a lawyer leader is Professor Angela Allen Bell. I only recently have come to know Professor Bell, as we have become acquainted when someone connected us because of our mutual desire to once and for all rid our state of non-unanimous juries. A 1998 SULC graduate, Professor Bell has been a leader in pursuing Sixth Amendment rights for all in Louisiana. She has organized, pushed, poked, and cajoled legislators, thought leaders, lawyers, and everyday residents of Louisiana to join her as she tries to bring Louisiana and the only other state in our nation, Oregon, that allows a less than unanimous juries for felonies, a 10-2 jury in Louisiana, to convict a person of a felony, into the 21st century and out of the vestiges of slavery and racism. Professor Bell, as she says, she puts pen to paper, voice to mic, minds emancipated, and change unleashed. I have no doubt that Professor Bell has found fulfillment as a lawyer. And the list goes on to include other SULC law graduates and students working on the flood-proof project, which Chancellor Pierre referenced, which, with the assistance of smartphone apps and a web-based platform developed here in this community in North Baton Rouge, has helped flood victims gather the family history and important documents that they need to get FEMA and state recovery funds. There are many more making a difference, whether they do that through their work straight out of law school in the LSBA LIFT incubator, like 2014 SULC grad Natalie Blackman did, a young graduate who has decided to forego big firms to serve her hometown of Marksville and people who are struggling to get jobs there, and others like her who are doing their service through being members of the bench. Every day, your school, Southern University Law Center, and its graduates are changing the world. And in doing so, they are becoming better lawyers, citizens, and people. They have joined thousands of lawyers across the country who understand early on in their careers that getting involved in their local and state and their other bars of color, Women Bar Association, joining the American Bar Association, or otherwise finding a way to become a part of what is good in this country, in this world, by helping others, by shaping laws, by righting wrongs, by simply standing up for the rule of law, will bring great fulfillment. Graduates, define success not only by how much you get, but by how much you give. And there will never be a day that you will not be proud to say, I am a lawyer. Graduates, my warmest congratulations to each of you and your wonderful families and friends as you begin this extraordinary lifetime journey of service through which I am certain, you will find great fulfillment. Thank you for allowing me to be here with you today.
Thank you, Ms. Martinez. I really appreciate you talking about the service that these law graduates will be able to engage in and talking about the service that our alums have really done in their professional careers in that they are helping transform people's lives. I want to present to you, if you will come please, a small token of our appreciation. Now, to the moment that you all have been truly waiting for. Vice Chancellor Elfrida Diamond, please come forward to introduce the graduating class.
Will the candidates for the Juris Doctor degree please stand? Chancellor Pierre, the Southern University Law Center faculty has certified these candidates to receive the Juris Doctor degree. Graduating first in her class in the day division, graduating summa cum laude, is Michelle R. Grove. Graduating first in the evening division, graduating magna cum laude, Morgan Blanchard Robertson. Taylor Alexander. Ryan J. Andrews. Remington Angel, cum laude. Layla M. Arefi-Poor. Ashley E. Armstrong. Lance C. Beal, cum laude. Philip M. Bellin, cum laude. Brittany A. Bernard. Jarek Bissick, magna cum laude. Tiffany Black. Benjamin O. Guacha. Jared P. Bordier. Mr. Bordier receives the dual degree, the JD MPA, today. Lyrica J. Boutte. Otia M. Bowie. Patricia A. Grant. Trey Rosen. Louis D. Brooks, cum laude. Cara A. Graham. William Caldwell. Mr. Caldwell receives the tax certificate. Justin A. Caprera. Tiffany L. Carriere graduates magna cum laude. Courtney J. Carter. Leroy Carter. Mark A. Carter. Yesha L. Clark. Ms. Clark receives a public law certificate. Ikesia L. Collenberg. Gwendolyn Collins Greenup, cum laude. Rachel L. Coronel, cum laude. Christina F. Douglas. Brittany R. Duke, magna cum laude. Raquel C. Estevan. Britton C. Evers. Ashley N. Freeman. Samuel T. French. Samantha G. Gahn. Landon P. Goche. John C. Gennard. Andres Gomez. George Q. Gonzalez, cum laude. Tiffany L. Green. Joanna R. Hajek Barafini. Tanya M. Hamilton. Burgundy C. Hammond. Ariel M. Harris, magna cum laude. Shantae S. Harvey. Jessica F. Hawkins. Alex T. Abear. Leah D. Hempel. Matthew H. Hernandez. Alvarez J. Herzog. Mr. Herzog receives a dual degree, the JD MPA. Daisha L. Hodges, cum laude. Anthony Hughes. Michael O. Endest. Patrick J. Jester. Mr. Jester receives a tax law certificate. Taylor L. Johnson, cum laude. Bria L. Joshua. Danielle L. Kennebrew. Johnny L. King, Jr. Leona L. Latchy. David B. LeBlanc, cum laude. Jerry A. Lee. Jordan A. Lewis, cum laude. Emily A. Lindick. Ryan T. Lloyd. Fatima Mann. Dewan R. Mansfield. Colby P. Marchand, magna cum laude. Kenya Marquis Nelson. Aaron McDonald. John M. McDonald, cum laude. Gerard M. McGriff. Demetrius R. Magruder, cum laude. Peggy Papillon Monet. Tiffany E. Monroe, cum laude. Richard A. Montgomery. Cortland D. Morgan. Trevor C. Mosby, cum laude. Aram McGaw, cum laude. Edwin T. Murray. Patrick Murphy. Jared E. Nelson, cum laude. Xavier T. Nelson. Benjamin O'Connor. Liana Oliver. Nchekube U. Onima, cum laude. Charles K. Parr, magna cum laude. Seisha S. Poche. Jesse Proctor. Elizabeth A. Ray. Melissa E. Reynolds. Yolanda M. Righteous, magna cum laude. Jonathan C. Robertson. Alicia R. Robillard. Ricky R. Robertson, Jr. Philip S. Robinson, III. Shayna Sanders. Ryan G. Saunders. Matthew T. Seaton, cum laude. Brian B. Sambera. Brittany N. Short. Kimberly Suryakapong. Jonathan J. Smith. Harry Span. Sharita L. Spears. Stephen J. Spurgeon, magna cum laude. Jessica E. St. Pierre, cum laude. Stephanie N. Stevens, magna cum laude. Jamelia S. Stevenson. Thomas R. Scrow. Toby L. Tatum. Angela M. Taylor, cum laude. Larry Sean Trahan. Julie M. Udasian. John Van Norman IV. Brandon P. Vassar. Nicole L. Wiggum. Quadre White. Raymond L. Wilkes III. Jordan A. Williams. Arthur Bernard Francisco Williams, Jr. Gary Williams II. Cheyenne Y. Wilson. Derek R. Woods. LaDacia N. Woods.
In addition to these fine graduates that are present today, we are going to confer 2 degrees posthumously to Lisa Carroll and Marquita Christie, who would have graduated today except for the fact that they passed on to glory before this day happened. Both women were both gifted and passionate scholars and close to completing their legal education at the time of their passing. Take a moment of silence to honor their memory. We have reserved 2 spots where they would have been seated had they been here with us today. We have the family members for Ms. Carroll, and I was presented a portrait that I wanted to give to the family members. I'd like Dr. Belton and Chair Lady Smith to join us. And I would invite the family members of Ms. Carroll, her sons, come forward, other family members. And I would invite Reverend Henry and Mr. Fondell. We have here to receive the posthumous degree on behalf of Ms. Christie is her mother, Monique Christie, and her sister. Please. At this time, I call to the podium Attorney Cynthia Reed, class of the 1990 and Director of the Law Center's Office of Continuing Legal Education and Alumni Affairs, who will induct today's graduates into our SULC Alumni Association. Mr. Reed.
Will the class of 2018 please stand? Please raise your right hand. After I state your name. I, an alumnus of Southern University Law Center, do hereby pledge allegiance to Southern University Law Center. I promise to remain loyal, faithful, and steadfast in support of its programs, uplift of its principles, maintenance of its traditions, and defense of its honor. I further promise to always stand ready to contribute my time, my efforts, my financial assistance, and services toward the advancement of Southern University Law Center, my beloved alma mater. So help me God. Congratulations to you all.
Will you remain standing? Upon the authority vested in me by the President of the Southern University System and the members of the Southern University Board of Supervisors, with the certification of this great faculty and recommendation of this great faculty and the Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, it is my honor to confer upon you the degree of Juris Doctor, with all rights, privileges, and honors pertaining thereto. Congratulations. You may be seated. I will ask Associate Vice Chancellor Sean Vance and Vice Chancellor White to come forward, and we will honor our honorary degree holder. Today, this year, the Southern University Law Center will honor and award an honorary Juris Doctor degree to Joseph Hayden, Sr. Reverend Joseph Hayden, Sr. is from Montrose, Virginia, and has been a leader in Virginia for social justice, civil rights, and education throughout his career. Reverend Hayden has blessed us at Southern University Law Center every year since 2001 by bringing 40 to 70 high school students to the Southern University Law Center in an institute that he created and funded called the Minority Law and Research Institute. And many of you have worked with those high school students as he is preparing them for life, careers, not only in law, but in whatever they pursue, and more importantly, giving them a glimpse of hope, of vision, and to share with them positive role models. At the time that Reverend Hayden came to us and wanted to do this project, there were no such thing as pipeline programs for high school students or students in middle school. And so he was a visionary, and now they're plentiful. But he brought that to Southern University Law Center. He has touched the lives of over 700 high school kids through this program at Southern University Law Center, and has raised and invested over $600,000 to support this program that is hosted at Southern University Law Center. This year, the students will arrive on June 18th, 2018. He's already told me he's got 37, he's working up to 40. Through the Ambertus Foundation. His aunt was a philanthropist and a woman who believed in being someone who would lay out the path for social justice and being a social engineer. I want to have Reverend Hayden please come and be hooded, and I ask the President and the Chair to join us. We will now have a special presentation by the family of our posthumous J.D. recipient, Marquita Christie. I invite them to the stage.
Okay, it's my pleasure to represent my daughter, as I'm sure nobody else would do better. And I want to first say to her class, to the class of 2018, press forward. Do not stop. Do not linger in your journey, but strive for the mark set before you. And you know what that mark is, Marquita. So it's on her behalf. Today we announced that the Marquita Christie Scholarship will initiate in this fall with our first $10,000 pledge. And since this is the first time I actually got to acknowledge publicly about the winning of the Alton Sterling case against the police department, and I want to first recognize, one, my daughter, and Richard, I don't know where he is. They're the two that did all the legwork. So that case was won based on them and all of their hard work. And being the one who raised her, I'm gonna say this, that if you knew her, she was not quiet, and I'm her mother, and I will not allow her to go quietly into the night. And at that stage, we're gonna go on with the Marquita Christie Mark My Word Foundation, which has been registered and trademarked. We will be funding to this foundation and keeping that scholarship going. We don't have to worry about it. We don't have to burden the school. The school will be rewarded for taking care of my daughter. Thank you.
Today would not happen if it weren't for the fine faculty that taught you and nurtured you throughout the process of this very grueling legal education marathon. And I would like for the faculty to please rise and for you to acknowledge the wonderful work that our faculty has done, including those here on the stage. And every day when you come into the building runs because we have a great staff. And I'd like for my staff to rise, all those people that make everything run at the Southern University Law Center. Now, I want to make a couple of special acknowledgments to individuals who are in the audience who help Southern University Law Center every day, maybe not always in a visible way, but they do all the time. I want to acknowledge in the presence the past state president of the NAACP and the current executive director of the NAACP, Dr. Ernest Johnson, who was the attorney who filed Clark versus Rome or Clark versus Edwards, that made it possible to change the face of the judiciary in Louisiana today. And he and his wife, Pam Taylor Johnson, Judge Pam Taylor Johnson, have a wonderful young lady who just graduated. And then a special advisor to the governor, Edwards, a former state senator and a strong advocate for higher education in the Southern University Law Center, Senator Edward Murray. Could you please stand? He's going into battle into the special session to make sure that higher education is fully funded as much as possible, and we have the honor of hosting his son for 3 years, Ed Murray. So we are honored to have you here, sir, to support us and support everything that we do. It is my pleasure now to introduce Dr. Ray L. Belton, President of the Southern University System and Chancellor of the Southern University of Baton Rouge, who will present us remarks, followed by the Honorable Ann A. Smith, Chair of the Southern University Board of Supervisors. I will ask them to come forward respectively and give remarks.
Good morning. Allow me to bring greetings on behalf of my many colleagues across the Southern University and A&M college system. I join the Chancellor in offering congratulations to you for this most momentous accomplishment. Let me say it that way. You know, it is clear that the Southern University Law Center has enjoyed outstanding leadership by the likes of Chancellor Agriholtry and Chancellor Freddie Pritchard. But indeed, I think you would agree that Chancellor John Pierre is offering outstanding leadership to the Law Center, and I would hope that you would join me in recognizing him for shaping a legacy for the Law Center. I'd also like to kind of echo his sentiments and express my appreciation and thanks to the faculty and staff for really defining this graduating class. It is their work that really helped define Southern University, because as they have defined you, you have the potential of defining Southern University by way of your work. Your work, one way or the other, will shine on this institution. And I'm often reminded of Chancellor Pierre's means of describing you. He said that the Law Center, its goal, or one of its goals, are to shape lawyer leaders. And clearly, that has been a distinguishing factor or attribute of those graduates who preceded you. It is, as President-elect Martinez made mention this morning, that the Law Center is changing the world of legal education. And again, I would just like to submit to you how proud we are of you and how grateful we are for what you have done, what you are currently doing, and what you will do in shaping and defining the Southern University Law Center, and by extension, the Southern University and A&M College system. Thank you very much. I also want to, if you will, share with you the degree to which our system benefits from a cadre of individuals who do so much in really advancing the interests of our system. And I speak of the Southern University Board of Supervisors, who give unselfishly to champion our causes and interests. It is a 16-member board, and we are fortunate this morning to have 3 representatives of that board, to include the chair lady of the Board of Supervisors, the Honorable Ann Smith, the vice chairman, the Honorable Reverend Donald Ray Henry, and the chairman of the Student Affairs Committee, the Honorable Raymond Fondell. Would you give them, as a collective group, a round of applause? And allow me then to present the Honorable Chair Lady of the Southern University Board of Supervisors, Madam Ann Smith.
Thank you, Dr. Belton. And he has already recognized the other board members that are present. On behalf of Southern University Board of Supervisors, I'm privileged to congratulate each of you, the 2018 graduates of Southern University's Law Center. You know what? You were smart. I knew you were smart. As you walked across the stage, I could look at the chords and see how smart you are. However, I consider you as being even more smart than I really realized, because you have chosen Southern University's Law Center to be a graduate. Just this month, Southern University's Law Center was rated in the top 5 value-added law schools in the United States. It was also Southern University's graduates who led the way to changing the process for how judges are elected in Louisiana. This opened the door for African Americans to have the opportunity to become a judge in the state of Louisiana. Congratulations, Southern University Law Center. Congratulations to you, Chancellor Pierre, and your staff, but I especially want to congratulate you for adding your footprints in the legacy of the Southern University Law Center. For over 25 years, he has put footprints here and there, and now as Chancellor of the 70 years of Southern University Law School history. Again, congratulations, graduates. I'm challenging you also to continue to put your footprints in the Southern University Law Center as you go out and as graduates and grow in your profession. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Belton and Mrs. Smith, for your kind words. I want to say to all the parents, spouses, children, and close friends of our graduates today, I want to say thank you. The reason I want to say thank you is because you entrusted your loved ones to the Southern University Law Center. And without your support, this day could not have ever come to fruition for our graduates. And I want to applaud each and every one of you. I also want to applaud this graduating class for their tenacity, for their perseverance, and for their true grit. This is a very determined group of young people, very determined group of individuals from all kinds of places and spaces that before they came here might have not been comfortable with each other before they came here, but they have formed together and created a cohort of unity that I am very, very proud of. I applaud you. Now, we are nearing the end. I want to announce that there will be a reception that will be held at the Law Center immediately after this commencement, and everyone is invited. I know many of you have all kinds of grand affairs planned all over the city and the state of Louisiana, and I wish you well in your grand affairs, and be safe, because the work is just beginning, because we've got a bar exam to tackle in July. That's right. We got a bar exam to tackle, all right? And we've invested a lot of resources for you to succeed. And your fearless leader is ready to help you climb that wall. So celebrate today. Enjoy Mother's Day tomorrow with your mothers, because they truly are blessed. All right? But Monday, it's back to work. It's back to the grind. It's back to being what you are capable of being. Now, before we have this recessional, I'd like Reverend Jonathan Augustine to please come forth to give us the benediction.
Let us once again, my brothers and my sisters, go to our God in prayer. Heads are again bowed, eyes are again closed. Gracious and perfect God, we thank you not only for this day, but for the preceding days and for the preceding years that have made this day possible. Dear God, we thank you for all that our eyes have seen, all that our ears have heard, and all that our hearts have felt. Please continue to be with us, order our steps, and direct our lives, dear God, as we leave this place, but never from your holy presence. These and all other blessings we ask in your perfect, precious, matchless, and most marvelous name. And let all God's people say, amen.
Before we leave, I want to thank the graduation committee led by Ms. Mary Johnson for coordinating this fine event today. And she had so many other people to help with this, including Colonel North and other folks that are too numerous to name. But I want to thank them for all of their great service to the Law Center. And now we may receive.